Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Essentials TF AMA Staff AMA stream. I'm joined by some lovely, lovely people. I'm joined by eepily over here. Is it still the same way? Arch? No, other way.
I'm next.
eepily and our good friend Loris down
this
that
is a
way.
bold move, starting off with pointing
And
like
happiness
positional
beneath me.
stuff.
Yeah.
Bold move there.
You alright?
Doing alright?
Yeah, I'm all right. We've had flawless setup today, and that's how we intend to proceed with things. And at land.
It can only improve. So, going on with. How are you, Loris? You doing alright? You don't really show face.
That's by choice. It's for you. It's not for me.
And
well, thank you.
same for you, Charlie, as well.
I'm well, thank you.
Yeah, I'm not usually in front of the camera at all, if ever. So
We're gonna throw you in it. But we're here, guys, to answer some questions. Now, we have got a Reddit open, and we will be taking some questions in the chat. So, only 24 of you right now, I assume. But if you have any questions in the chat, please poop them out for us. Yeah, should we just fire off?
Lucky.
Just...
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
If people ask questions in the chat, who's making a note of those if, say, other people talk and then that message disappears?
My scroll wheel.
I love it. Good. I'm just making sure it's not my responsibility. So as long as it's not, I don't care.
I can make you responsible if you want.
No.
The lead not leading. Classic. All right. So we did have a question from Old Union 7766 that Mr. Dr. Happiness has already answered. Is you ever eat a raw egg whole?
No. That's disgusting.
I've never cooked a cream egg.
You've never. Sorry, that wasn't the question.
Yeah, but the question was stupid. So like...
yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think we can do whatever we want with this question.
That's true. Yeah.
I have eaten a cream egg. Yes. I've eaten an Easter egg. Yes. One of our friends, Craig, used to buy Easter eggs from the 24-hour Asda next to him when they went on offer just after Easter. He would buy them. He would build a wall of Easter eggs, and then what he would intend to eat them all. But what would actually happen is, because this was during university, when his housemates would get intoxicated, they would buy the Easter eggs off of him for exorbitant prices, and he'd make a killing. So
That's
if
genius.
that doesn't answer your egg question, I don't know what will.
Cabal.
Old Union's really come at us with something there. And Charlie, can you remember what answer you gave?
I said not with the shell. It was at university. I had a friend in my flat who was like a massive fitness freak. And he just dared me one day to sort of like he was having raw eggs and he was like, "Do you want a raw egg?" And I was like, "No." And then he was like, "I'll give you a $5 for it." So obviously I was gonna
$5.
$5.
I was gonna ask, how did you transition from a hard no? A $5.
I was a student. I was desperate.
So to clarify, I'm bringing a tenner to land and an egg. So...
Things are gonna get crazy.
We're gonna go plus shell. That's what we're gonna do this time.
We don't need 2 eggs. I reckon a tenner's fine for 1 egg because like inflation is going through the roof. Like I feel like that'll balance out. So
I'll just about pay for
Amazing.
the egg, yeah.
brilliant.
Oh god.
Yeah, buy the egg at cost.
I mean,
I think
inflation.
I think
stuff.
that's good for question 1.
That's good for the show, I think, honestly. I think that's about
I'm
it.
just going to talk about eating eggs the whole time. I've eaten a raw egg. I didn't even do it for money. There's no context, really.
All right, next.
Next question. When will the Dr. Happiness podcast return? From Ramen.
So I think this was Ramid that asked it because I went on like a 2-hour rant about like my history of TF2 and my opinions, and apparently he was interested. I did plan like ages ago to sort of do a podcast kind of thing. Shout outs to Sir Duck and Telly for sticking with me for the one episode that we recorded. But it's just like it was effort.
It was effort.
It was effort. It was like I had other things going on. And I was just like, yeah, Adam got it. It's radio rollout. Because it was the idea we were doing a mixture of gaming news and TF2 like competitive news, and it was just I was so busy with other stuff like uni work. I was just like, do I really have to, like, do I really want to commit to that? And yeah, it was a no. So I'm not ruling it out in the future, but it is effort.
I mean, in theory, it is a nice idea show as well, isn't it?
Yeah, like I think that's a real shame. I'd be really embarrassed if I was part of a marginally successful podcast and then we all kind of lost interest and didn't do it anymore. Ryan, I don't know.
Not my fault.
Have you got any thoughts about
Not
that?
my fault.
I'm just wondering if you had any similar interactions with.
What has been streamers trying out podcasts and then going ultimately nowhere? No, I don't know anything about that. Next
No,
question.
nothing about that. All right, good stuff. Lucky. What's been your podcast failures?
My podcast failures.
Yeah.
We in college, one of my friends, I want to go on a podcast called Monkeys Are Smarter, and we were just absolutely. I'm sure it's out there somewhere. So.
Glad you're cutting out so I can't hear half of what you say.
I just
Great.
imagine the words that he's not saying, and it's really funny.
Oh no. Yeah, I've been on a podcast that was shit. That's kind of summarized out.
Fantastic.
Does fully charged
Answer all
count?
the questions that succinctly. I didn't know that was an option.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
it
about
was
fully
bad.
charged? Does
Right,
that
thanks,
count?
yeah.
Yeah. Does fully charged count?
Yeah.
I mean, that's still kind of. It's not really a podcast anymore, though, is it?
I don't know.
It kind of is. Yeah, I'd say it pretty much feels like a podcast role. Like it's. I don't know what the actual definition of a podcast is. It feels pretty podcasty. I'm the media specialist. I say it's a fucking podcast. Sorry.
If anyone, everyone here knows Juno because Juno's an absolute landmark gamer. He was obsessed about 4 months ago with me and him doing a podcast where we'd both talk about TF2, but he's got really strong opinions, but they're all really dumb, and I have vague opinions. And all we do is we bicker. Anyone who's been on a team with us ever, all we do is just bicker and shout at each other. And he was like, "That would be awesome. That's the content everyone wants to see." And he started writing up plans for it and everything. And then it obviously didn't happen because it wasn't anything anyone wanted to see. But yeah, that's another failure. So I've actually got 2 failures in my book, and we're looking to get 3. Next question, Lucky.
Bloodless is asking a question. What suit? This is going to be a guessing game for all of us, I think. But it's what suit is Kato going to bring to the stage as the host?
Ooh.
Well, we had this discussion earlier that we don't think that anyone's going to try hard on the old suits, but I think that when it comes to grand finals, that me and Bum have an idea that we want to wear suit jacket kind of deals. But we'll see what actually happens.
I mean, Kato's kind of like a wild card, you know.
Yeah.
He kind of just does whatever he wants. He's just gonna turn up. I think day 1 it will be yoga pants. Day 3 is gonna be I don't know if you guys watched that CS tourney a while back where Bardolph was just wearing a full Christmas tree suit, but that was really good. I can just imagine that kind of thing. It would be Kato with a full 3-piece suit, but it's all the double donk thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've been doing some research here. I've been doing some live analysis that's been going along. So I looked up the word kaidus on Google Image Search, and there are 2 pictures with him wearing a shirt, and they both appear to be the same shirt. So my guess is going to be that same shirt again, round 3.
Same. Just
Okay,
never
That
goes
same shirt, round 3, black tie. That's my guess.
Can you save the photo for us to check later?
Yes, absolutely. You can test me on that one.
Here's a good question though. Who do you think has worn the best shirts to land? Because I've got my personal opinion about it.
Alba. Nothing
The
beats
Alba
Alba.
suit is unstoppable.
You're forgetting about the watermelon shirt that Plunk wore.
Oh, that was that was a
I
look.
really like watermelon.
Yeah, that was good. But the pineapple suit was iconic. I think the Plunk.
Yeah.
I mean,
What?
there's got to be a shout out to Ro for the sniper cosplay.
Oh, yeah.
At 61, I think it was.
63? 1?
It was
Okay.
61 because
It was one of the lands,
yeah,
you know.
One
it
of
was my first LAN, and I distinctly remember that. So
I did
Yeah, shout
think
out to that.
maybe we should have some kind of competition for the best drip at LAN, who shows up with the best suit, the best look. It'd be pretty fun. Maybe an unofficial tournament.
More like a C tournament. I like it.
Yeah, just have a fashion show on the last day. It's like we can squeeze it in. It's time in the schedule.
Well, we got the stage, so
We got the stage, yeah. We're just turning into a
Sure,
catwalk.
do a very brief
Can you
catwalk.
imagine anything worse?
I'm just imagining like the announcement of like, look, guys, we're not actually getting the stage for the grand finals. The grand finals is going to be played off stream because instead we're going to be streaming a fashion show.
Doing a fashion show.
We're going to use the main stage. It's going to be really awkward nerds walking up and down a stage. Just the crowd's uncomfortable. They're uncomfortable. They're doing it all for 50 quid worth of Subway vouchers.
Oh.
It's not good.
It's not even warm Subway either. It's cold Subway because they don't put heater units in any of the subways. The pop-up subways don't have any warming things in it, which is like sacrilege because they're like,
Can
"Do you
we
want
stop?
cheese on that?"
Can we stop throwing down land food before we even get into the hall, please? Like, I need at least like 2 minutes
That's an
to forget
official
about
partner.
that.
You are jeopardizing the whole operation right now.
How close are we
Let's
to the
keep it
bar?
going.
Happiness. How close are we to the bar?
We're opposite the bar again, as usual. And, the organisers know how to take care of us.
They
So,
do.
I mean, this
Excellent.
the thing is that that's not even like a wink to like every organizer who does TF2 events knows this. Like it was exactly the same at Esports Arena. They knew how much money they made on the bar in Rewind 1. They knew exactly what to do for Rewind 2. Like every organization picks it up. They know. They put us next to the bar. Well done,
They know.
everyone. We did it.
Which says something about TF2 players.
I wonder when they're going to start giving us beer tokens. Like when we
Ooh.
get to lands, where the organizers are going to start knowing these TF2 guys, they go hard, and if we can just get, then us.
Why do you think we need any incentive?
Because then they can put the bar across the hall. That's wrong.
No.
Again, we don't need
Chronically
any incentives.
upset
Like,
gamers.
it's
we're
just like
enough
the
lucky. We don't need more.
it's like the end of the stream. You just see like this group of people just migrating just across the hall to the bar. My favourite one is just after the grand finals. It is just like a wave of
It is.
people just going up to the bar.
We need to someone with this would be a great bit of like, I don't know, post stream content if we could record like the mass migration and do like an Attenborough style like commentary over the top of the mass migration of TFT players from like the
I
stage
can
to
get
the
some
bar.
footage.
I mean,
That would be
I can do
genuinely
that.
so funny.
I think genuinely at I-65, I went to the bar before the grand finals because there was like the period between the group photo and the grand finals, and I went to the bar and warned them. I made it was like they're all gonna come over here
Jesus.
after the finals.
Boys, you better start doing some stretches right
Yeah.
now. 'cause some
Start
drinks are
lining up
getting
cups and shot glasses along the bar, just
Oh my God.
empty and ready. I mean, can we just move, because we're doing the post show anyway on Friday and Saturday, can we just like move that setup to the bar?
Well, just get like a couple of lights, a couple of cameras, and just put it in front of the bar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
just really get in the way.
because yeah. I remember last time when that finals finished, me and X-Time finished on the list desk, and he just turned to me and went, "Shots." I was like, it's like, yeah, alarming.
I think we strayed a bit from the question, haven't we?
We have strayed a bit from the question, but I think that's okay.
Okay.
There's a few edgy questions, a few quite long. I think I'll drill them down in the core elements. What is
Go
a
on.
banned weapon that you want to see uncast?
I'm gonna have to Google that one real quick. Like,
Yeah, I'm gonna go to whitelist.tf. Partners with
Well-
every TF2 server out there.
Yeah,
Well,
this is
for-
gonna be a really informed opinion. You can tell.
Well,
Oh, yeah,
for
this
the
is not
answer, I'd
hectic.
sort of counted how many we banned, at least in ETF 12. And
Because to be fair, there's not that many.
it's
banned.
not that many. It's about 20. I think I counted 28 of the 100, or I think we've got about 101 weapons unbanned in Europe. The thing I would like to see is either RGL matching ETF to L or vice versa. Like bring back the global whitelist. So that would be stuff like unbanning the detonator and the scorch shot. Like, they're awful weapons. I don't like them, but I
That's
think
a
it's
bad-
better in the long run because then we can, like, as a community, agree that the scorch shot and detonator are awful weapons and ban them together, rather than like what we've done, where Europe's gone like, we don't like these, Bye. That's just my 2 cents.
Great bit.
Okay.
Unity.
Oh, that. So I have
Physical
two choices.
pain.
I have 2 options. One is I'm looking at the UTF bans, and there's literally just not a weapon I'm looking at. Like, oh yeah, that's gonna make things more interesting or engaging. Unbanning. So option 1 would be like no. Option 2 would be like the carnage pick of like how do you kill the game as quickly as possible? How do you just like cause an absolute disaster? The option, of course, would be like Wrangler. If you are like,
I was gonna
if you
say
are
Wrangler.
like, yeah, if you are like genuine like what's the D&D alignment like?
Chaotic.
Chaotic
Okay.
evil.
Chaotic evil, yeah.
Yeah, you
unban
would
the
just
Wrangler.
do Wrangler because no one would ever win last ever again. It would just become impossible. So
What about the
yeah, so
Natasha,
either
though?
nothing or the Wrangler.
Same as your short circuit. You did that.
Ooh,
you don't.
yeah,
They'd never be
My
able
second option was the base jumper, by the way, because it's the world's most pointless weapon.
true.
That's true. That's true. I mean, there was an entire night of I don't know if it was like the very end of ESCA or the very start of RGL or something. There's like an entire night of like NA scrims when the base jumper first came in, where they were like, oh yeah, let's just like try it out. And there was like a rando stream where for like 3 hours seemingly he just spent his entire life in the skybox on Granary with the base jumper. Like that was all you ever saw. He would just jump really high and then be in the skybox wiggling around shooting like 40 damage rockets, and just no one could kill him because it's like, well, you could do like 9. It was bizarre.
I mean, for those of you that are flying point out, calling you the quickie bomb launch.
Easy for you to say, Lucky.
Please, you're gonna have to speak up slightly more, buddy. Your
Quickie
thing's
bomb
doing
can
nothing.
suck it.
There we go. Being
Let me move my
clear,
mic to the
concise,
center of my
Why
desk.
say many words?
Why
Why
say
say
many
many
words
words
when
when
few
there's
words
Too many
trick?
words now that I'm speaking.
Damn.
If I was gonna unban a weapon, I'd probably unban the Vitasaur because I think it's the least egregious one, like the base. I think it does like sweeten up,
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
genuinely useless. I don't know.
I mean, like on a genuine point as well, I would like just pure carnage. I'd want to unban just a whole bunch of taunts because I get the idea that you shouldn't be able to like go around corners and stuff can mess with hitboxes, but at the same time, the whole like broomstick or like bumper car to mid thing is just kind of funny enough. I think that makes it worth it.
I think there was a plugin that was where you wouldn't be able to go into third person when doing those taunts. I don't know what happened with that.
First person
Oh.
bumper cars.
I think he
Right.
means.
That wasn't the pitch, but I like it. I mean, look
Yeah.
That would be cool. Not being in third person, it's like first person.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
rather than like the camera forced into third person, you still do the taunt, but you would be stuck in first person.
Yeah.
So like for a normal taunt, you'd just be stuck still doing nothing. So
When the
Perfect.
skateboard taunt came out, high stream by the way, it's Adam Lloyd.
Who is that?
Get that camera on, boy.
When
Gotta
the
be here, gotta get that
skateboard
camera
taunt
on.
came out, the first thing I did was because you know how you can set your command to have the world view models rather than the like your regular view models. So I just set that on and had the skateboard on, so I was like first person Tony Hawk, because you can look down and see your feet on the board and see it kicking and stuff.
There is
So
a,
yes, let's have first person taunts.
There is a command for that, isn't there?
Yeah,
Where you can see your model bouncing around. rather
yeah.
than
Don't
model.
play sniper with that.
Yeah, because it just doesn't work. You just can't see anything. The sniper rifle scopes. Also, Mr. Arch, you've asked a very important question.
No, but we're saving that for the end after everything important happens because
Okay.
we'll never stop if we start there.
I'll put it on my notepad. Then
Fair enough.
we'll just save it.
Put a pin in that one.
I'll put a pin in that one. That's very.
Right, give us a good juicy meaty question.
All right, here's a good juicy meaty question that I've been saving up. Can you speak about your personal opinions on the EU versus NA rivalry as of 20? We'll go one by one. So we'll start with you, because that's a very meaty question.
Yeah, who's going first?
You.
Oh, nice. Okay, right. So, I've quite strong opinions on this, right? The first opinion is that I think there's maybe 3 people ever who has fully taken the whole EU versus NA thing, like, to heart seriously, and none of them have ever gone to LAN. Because there's this whole thing of like, obviously, you say EU versus NA because that's just fun, right? Like, that's how you make the fun storylines. That's how you cause drama. That's like why games are interesting, because you have favorite teams, and like, you know, if you don't have a favorite team, hey, guess what? Like, they're your region. So even if Fro is not your favorite team, if you're North American, you're gonna be like, yeah, but North America's gonna win. So, you know, you create your own storylines, you like create your own fun. There's like a tiny amount of people who genuinely think there's an NA-EU divide where like for some reason like the two regions hate each other, and it's because they've never been to a LAN and they've never interacted with like these players in their life, because it turns out you go to LAN and everyone literally loves each other. But it's just like, you've got to big it up for the stream, right? Like, you've got to big it up for the sake of the storylines, for the sake of the viewers, to keep things interesting. But that's like that is my hot take number one. The fact that it is 100% real in an entirely fictional way, and that's why I love it. Hot take number two is that I think that the current iteration of NA is one of the most interesting of recent times, because they have some really, really interesting teams in terms of how they play and in terms of their skill level. I thought like the most recent RGL LAN was sick, and I think people should go back and rewatch it. Like, G6 were doing mad stuff, and yeah, granted, like, spoilers, the good team won. But there were some insane games, and soldiers were hitting like every shot. I think that's nuts. I think EU is in a bit of a weird state where there's not loads of teams all fighting for first place, but I also think that people can become obsessed with the idea of it's all about who gets first. I think there's been some fantastic storylines over the past few years of like those 3rd to 6th place Prem teams and like how they go through things. I think there's always something interesting, and it isn't always at the very, very tippity top end, and I think people can get a bit obsessed with that as well. So there you go. That's 2 hot takes for you right there.
If I can chime in, I really appreciate where you're coming from. It is, a lot of it is kind of a manufactured rivalry, but at the same time, EU baby, we're going in. It is 10-year anniversary of this first international LAN, the first Insomnia with 2 big teams coming together. It's like the 10-year anniversary or something. It's going to be absolutely massive, and the fact is we've got an American team. They are coming, and okay, it might be a little bit manufactured and stuff like that, but this is the weekend. This is the one that matters. We try and play online, it doesn't work out. This is the one. And my boys EU probably got it, but I don't know a goddamn thing about competitive TF2, so I presume we've got it. I'm just gonna go out there. I'm gonna have my England shirt on. Gonna be cheering on whoever the hell's playing.
Oh my god, please. Just
What just happened?
Like...
and my second point. No.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Good. Right, moving on. Who's next?
I think that NA right now is, they've got a lot more established teams, and there's a bit more solid cores. So, for example, you've got the Freo core that's been there for God knows how long. You've got G6, which is they've sort of molded themselves over the past couple of seasons, and then they brought on some like really fresh talent. Like, definitely the same with what eepily said. I really recommend going back and watching the RGL LAN, because what G6 were pulling off was absolutely incredible, and I think it was just a matter of Freo having the ability to bounce back that allowed them to sort of, take the series. But when you compare that to EU, at least these past couple of seasons, I think there's some established talent. Like, definitely the top 2 teams are fairly established teams, TF2 EZ and Witness, who we're seeing at LAN. But I think sort of the lower division, lower Prem teams are a lot more like up and comers. So we've seen a lot of new fresh talent coming in over the past couple of seasons that I think we haven't seen, them have the time to establish themselves and form. So if we were like pitting NA Invite versus EU Prem and having teams play against each other, I do think NA Invite would sort of take the top. But I wouldn't, especially for this LAN, taking Lawrence's sort of optimism here a little bit, I don't think it's worth ruling out those top 2 EU teams just because it's Freo turning up, because I think Freo's not going to be at their strongest because they've got new players coming in, despite some of them being Freo alumni. but you've also got, you know, both TF2 Easy and Witness have sort of been really training and sort of becoming sort of quite established teams over the past couple of seasons. So I think there is going to be some good competition at LAN. And you know, LAN can make or break a team. So
Can I?
yeah.
Yeah, can I shout out as well when you say about like obviously established teams in the most recent season of ETF12? I'm going to give credit where it's due. There was a very, very established French team in ETF12 this season. I can't remember how that season went. They had like probably a top 5 set of established players, and then one guy who just kind of vanished for some reason. I don't know what that was about, but
Yeah, he just kind of disappeared. I'm not sure. And then the entire roster just kind of fell apart.
yeah, that was weird. I always wanted to see that guy at LAN, but
Yeah.
for some
I
reason
mean,
wouldn't go.
He would have been crazy on LAN. Like, he would have crushed the entire competition.
Yeah, but there you go. What can you do, Lucky? What's your opinion?
So my opinion is that with NA, they've kind of become this like established player base. They've got the same players in and out of teams here. They've got new players stick at the team for the season. Yeah. So they just kind of stay there. We're not going to talk about. Ah!
Why are you surprised?
I don't know. Yeah. I think that when it comes to this LAN, that like Happiness mentioned, Froyo's kind of coming into it with, I don't know, momentum. Whereas in EU, we've kind of had this toing and froing of Witness, Nerd Rage, back and forth and kind of stuff like that. Whereas Froyo's just gonna whitewash purely.
Nah.
No?
Nah.
You don't reckon?
I think maybe third place Banny.
Oh yeah,
Maybe?
it's gonna be an all EU grand finals. Everyone knows that. That's a fact.
See, what you've done there is you've done what they did in TI, which is they call it like they say it's a Chinese year, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to say it's a Chinese year for Insomnia, but this doesn't seem very likely so far.
the difference is
Honestly-
ours is European and then NA, so that's the...
Out of nowhere, all the Aussies turn up like last minute. They just like rock up, sign up for like the open tournament. It's like, right, boys, let's slay. You know, they just go all the way. I mean, that could happen. It's not likely, but that could happen still.
There's every possibility.
Exactly. There you go. Tournament organizer says it's a sure thing. You can quote him on that.
It's not. I didn't say it was a sure
What's our
thing. I
next
don't know where
question?
that
What's our
came
next
from.
question? We can't focus on that. What's our next question?
Let's have a look and see if we can find a good one. I did not think about... Oh, here's a good one.
Yeah.
What divs are the teams in the open bracket usually?
Anywhere between open and Div 1 sometimes. I mean, I know from looking, there's a couple which are like Div 2/1 territory for sure. There's like that CJ team with Toast and Phil and stuff, but there's like a Koyo Digital BZ team. So they'll be pretty good. I don't know many other teams, but also know that there's a lot of actual randos. So I can literally guarantee that if you go to LAN and you play, almost always there will be someone that you can beat, unless you are one sad group of 6 teams. But even then, there's a decent chance. Also, remember, the open tournament is a Swiss system, so you have even better chances of not getting hard nuked for 5 games. So anywhere between open and Div 2/1, but they probably skew more towards the mid area, you know?
Yeah, and remember that there is a modifier there based on whether or not someone like wakes up on time and actually shows up to the first match, or whether or not they start drinking at 1. So it really, there is a bit of a randomness there that you can't quite expect. You do see a lot of like upsets, because as El said, it is like a Swiss system, so you do have teams that are very close together. You do see some pretty crazy upsets and some pretty crazy matches.
There was that team. This is quite a few lands ago, but there was that team. Their first game was against Tezek, right? Because this is old, right? And there were 6 guys who like had never played TF2 before. Like I don't even think they'd like played pubs. So they end up against Tezek and they end up on like Viaduct, and obviously it's like best of 1. So they play Viaduct. And the first thing they do is they roll out 6 heavies to mid, right? At which point Tezek's like, that's actually not legal, right? Surprisingly. And then all 6 heavies die. I think Coleman at this point, like they knew they were going to win. I think Coleman's monitor was off for this game because like they were just like joking around. So it was like 6 heavies to mid, then like they died. And then I think it was like 6 scouts to mid, and then they all died. And then that entire team just stood up from their desks and walked to the bar. They just didn't play the rest of it. So things like that can happen if you want to win.
And if you want easy points, play against any doggo roster.
Yes.
Is there a doggo roster at LAN?
No.
Is there not?
No.
How did you
No.
not manage to get?
That's what I'm saying, because I've literally got the doggo list. Okay, that's really sad. Okay.
How did you not get a doggos roster to LAN?
Oh, don't, Lucky. You're going to depress me. All of the doggos, they're all old. They're all over the hill. They don't want to play the game anymore. They think they're too good for it.
Do you want me to try and revive a doggo roster for you? Being an honorary
No, I did
doggo?
that. I did that for last season. It was... it's sad.
Have you
you
been
know.
through some of the LAN teams in the open tournaments names, by the way?
No.
How would I
So,
do that?
to go through a few, we've got Mr. McVitie's LAN standing hobnobs.
Good.
Paco Roblan.
Good.
You have checked that all of these are like safe for stream before you start reading
You
them,
have
right?
not checked.
Yeah, I saw a few and I was like, maybe not.
Yeah, at least one of them isn't.
We got the Ballin Crusaders.
Interesting.
Someone's called I Want a Lobotomy.
Good.
Zypher's made a roster as well,
Yeah, dude.
as usual.
Boy, Diggy B.
And then we got Samir in the Big House, which
Wow.
is Seeger and Crockett's team.
Crazy, man.
Yeah, they're crazy. Can't wait to see those guys online. It's gonna be hilarious. And the Anglosphere is that's a Piggles team, isn't it? I guarantee it. No, it's Barrow. Of course it is.
There you go.
There's a question.
He's on tournament because he's getting flashbanged on his.
Thomas has asked in the chat, why does Loris look like RDJ?
Why
Great
am I not
question.
on the I69 Liquipedia page? That's more the question. They've
So,
got
I mean-
producers, they've got online, they've got the B stream producers, they don't have the videographers. I'm done
So-
with this stream
I
until I'm on
listed
that
it.
page. I'm just letting you know. I'm not saying another
Unbelievable.
word until I'm on Liquipedia.
That's right, we're gonna form a union. We're gonna unionize.
It's genuinely really funny, Ryan, because half of the stream has been people saying people that you look like. Because apparently you look like both Robert Downey Jr. and me from I-65. Which
I
means
look
think
like you from I-65.
apparently
That's
me from
stupid.
I-65 also looked like Robert Downey Jr. I don't know. Ramen said it.
But
not
you
me.
look like you're 20, 30, and 40 at the same time. Like, what am I going to
Exactly.
get from this? Like,
I don't have an answer. It's just like
Oh,
I-
God.
I don't know.
okay, fine. Anyway, sorry, no more from me. Get Liquipedia on the phone.
Get Liquipedia on the phone.
On the phone. I'm looking at it now.
Get them over here.
Questions?
What was the question?
Yeah, so it's like, what divs do the people in open play? They play literally anything. I mean, there's been a massive mix. We've had literally teams that have never played a season before in their lives or really played any competitive TF2 at all turn up for the open tournament. So, and then we've had Div 1 teams play in the open before as well, and also previous Prem teams during the heights, like I-63, for example.
Yeah.
So there's a massive, massive difference. What do you guys? Here's a question. What do you guys think about the hashtag for I-69?
Well, it's I69
Acceptable.
TF2.
Hashtag nice.
Hashtag nice.
Right.
How do you feel about it?
Bad SEO.
No opinion.
No
And
opinion?
SEO.
Don't-
Oh, God.
If
What
you
else I
could,
can give you there, really.
if you could see North American casters cast at I-69, who would you pick?
The B stream's doing a damn good job of that.
Yeah, I know. I was like, Jesus Christ, that lineup! Holy God!
That's
Yeah.
stacked. We sure we don't have any more money left in the kitty. Just fly everyone over.
Yeah, just fire us all.
Just
Yeah.
replace the B stream with the A stream.
Oh, God.
I'll stay at home.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I'm trying to work out who that guy is that I casted with that I thought was really, really good. Now I've forgotten his name.
All of the Americans you've ever casted with on LAN.
Who would I-
I'm
So
looking
is that past and present, or just?
I think maybe
Concurrent?
past. We could do past and present, but X Time is probably my favorite out
Yeah.
of all the NA people. Definitely
For
the
me-
most personable person and
Yeah.
the easiest one to work with by miles.
I was saying Eckstein's praises like to the heavens. Everything he's been involved with us, both from a personal standpoint and from Essentials, he's just been an absolute star. And you know, I'm upset he can't make it this time round. So yeah, my pick would be Eckstein.
Loris, would you
Sorry,
pick
the
it?
sound behind me. You skipped me for a moment.
eepily, have you run through Liquipedia yet to find an answer rather than using your brain, which apparently doesn't seem to
I
be
can't use my brain. Brains are literally impossible.
Yeah, we don't grow one from our part of the country, but we'll come back to that question. Harsh.
I can't. He was like an invite player, and then he does casting, and he's really good. And this is really offensive that I can't remember
Is
his
it
name.
Jarrett?
It's Jarrett. Jarrett's fantastic.
Is that
Perfect.
it?
Go.
Is
Yeah,
that the
it's just
summary?
great.
Yeah,
It's
we're
just
just
great.
succinctly
Jarrett's
answering
very
questions
good.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd pick Banny to cast because then he's not playing, which makes our job
True.
easier as an EU team.
That's smart.
And he was,
I
and he's
like
quite good at casting in that show that I saw, the last TF2 I watched. So whenever
Yeah.
that was, last month or something.
Well,
He was quite good.
He did some casting at both Fullerton and Phillyland,
Yeah,
and he was
quite
yeah,
good.
he was good.
Dr. Happiness.
Yes.
Does the golden cap rule apply in groups?
No.
Excellent.
Great.
Great question. Thanks for asking.
Is
What's the
this
next
going
question,
to become
Lucky?
like a rules thing now? Like, okay, instead of like ask me anything, it's just ask an admin channel. We're just going to go
Ask
through,
it.
do some housekeeping whilst we're here.
Do
Yeah.
you have to be at LAN to play at LAN? Dr. Happiness, yes or no?
Yes, you have to be at LAN.
You have to be at
Oh,
LAN in person at the LAN.
You have to be at LAN. You have to have a valid BYOC ticket. Yeah.
So what if you had a valid BYOC ticket and you had a computer at LAN, but you yourself was not at LAN? You know, like that.
What a remote
was it,
desktop.
an EE advert where he's like, yeah, you're like running it from
I can't believe we
someone's
played at
living
LAN.
room. Yeah, exactly. I can't believe I've landed a plane. I can't believe I'm
Oh
playing
my
at LAN.
God.
Yeah.
There you go.
Would that be allowed? Sir, answer the question.
I genuinely don't know the answer to that one.
On
If
the
you
spot.
If
remote
I had a
desktop in.
pet and I bought that pet a LAN ticket, a BYOC
This is
ticket,
what I was
and
gonna
I
say,
brought
this
him
is
to
the
LAN,
stupid bit.
and I put him down on the chair, and he is the only one that's playing, would he be allowed to be a part of the Sixers team? Sir.
Okay, I want to clarify. Precedent has been set because about 10 seasons ago, we asked if Ryan's cat could play on a doggo roster if we screamed every game from the cat's POV to prove it was in fact the cat playing. Now, the ETF admin at the time said that would be acceptable. So precedent has been set.
I genuinely don't know the answer to that one.
Do you
I
reckon you
would
can get back to
imagine
us after
that
the stream with that one, yeah?
if the pet has a valid ticket, then yes.
Does the pet have to obtain the ticket, or can it be gifted the ticket?
I'm feeling steam coming out of my head right now.
I think it can be
Absolutely
gifted
fine.
the
You
ticket.
can
I feel
move
like
on.
you can buy someone else a ticket in it. Yeah.
You can, definitely.
Yeah,
That's
exactly,
legal.
yeah.
I've done that before.
Yeah. Actual good question from someone on the Reddit as well called Fangirl Crazy, who says, "Big kudos to you all for sacrificing your time and energy to run this thing. Everyone loves to wow over the big names, but the small guys are always the ones running the show. What were your experiences in event hosting prior to Insomnia, or did you wing it? In which case, why?" It's more of a Charlie question, this one.
Yeah. So previous to any actual LAN involvement, I'd only done like some online tournaments. I think the first tournament I tried setting up was like a newbie cup on the Faceit platform back in like 2017. Might have been before that as well. So I've never really had like professional event organization experience. So it was mainly just the core of people that we had when I first joined on as sort of an admin for Essentials had a little bit of experience. They had like 1 or 2 events under their belt. And the core team of Essentials now has about 4, 5 events, 6 events sort of under our palette. Some have more, some have less. And so we've got better because we've been able to, do events. But in terms of like actual experience, we've sort of just been following precedent a lot. So whatever happened at I-55s 8, for instance, we tried to implement that in 61. What worked at 61 and what didn't, we moved to 63, and so on and so on. So that's how we've done it. So I wouldn't say we've ever winged it, and I sort of said this in the AMA question. We never sort of winged it, but we have sort of iterated. So we've sort of gone with things saying this didn't work, this does, and sort of developed. So for example, I remember the way we scheduled best of ones was sort of taken from what Henny used to do. Big up Henny in the chat. Like he blocked out an hour for a best of one, and that's just always worked. And we've been able to sort of iterate that as we go on to sort of make it as streamlined as possible, whilst ensuring there's enough time to get everything done. So yeah, that's sort of my lengthy answer to the original, which is no, I don't have event experience, and sort of just picking it up as I go along.
I mean, most of the people that do these kinds of things, like, no one gets any. Everyone does it out of the love of the game. There's literally next to nothing else that we get out of it. So we just do it for the funsies. I mean, Loris, what was your favorite experience on LAN? Just a question from the chat arena.
Favorite experience of LAN?
Yeah. What's your single?
That's genuinely a tough one, and not for good reasons.
Oh. Was it
LAN is hard, man. LAN is a really difficult event.
Was it to Maxi at all?
I mean, this is kind of one where, like, on the media side, like, LAN does not let up at like any point. It's like afterwards you're coming out like a someone coming fresh out of Vietnam or something, just like, you know, you can still hear the sound of gunfire afterwards. I'd say probably the best thing I've done is probably slightly problematic, because the best thing I've done at LAN was, like, I brought out 2 documentaries which both launched at LANs, and they were probably some of my favorite things I've ever done, because, like, being able to watch, like, something you've done on the big screen is always really great. I really like doing the outros. Like, I was the guy who did all the tip of the hats outros, and that's kind of a LAN, I guess. That's kind of what I'm into, and I'm just in it for, you know, the personal glory, really. Like, people say you do it through love of the game. It's just my personal glory and payment, really.
Another question: who is the one person from LAN that you've met who you hadn't met before in person prior to going to LAN that you thought you really liked as a person? Not just as a player, but as a human being.
I've got one.
Yep.
So prior to I-52, I'd never met Squirrel_BBC in person. I met him at LAN, and now he is downstairs milling flour.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Good lad. Good lad.
It's pretty good.
You're formulating one there.
So I met a bunch of people at my first LAN, but it wasn't until I went to Sweetland that I sort of actually got to properly meet people. And I know it's sort of not necessarily a cop-out question, but it was, I think, meeting Arch for the first time, because it was Arch and John that I sort of, I don't know if John actually went to Sweetland.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
Ow.
Yes, he did. So, but I met both of them, and well, they were the ones who sort of got me involved with that circle. But they're also like really down to earth, chill people. And I would have never met them before. I saw Adam and John at I-61, but I never had the opportunity to actually talk to them. But it was at Sweetland specifically, and you know, I'm still with that group of people even now. So
yeah, I met Thompson and Thompson at LAN, the 2 Dutchies. Oh my god, I've never met some better people in my whole life. Like, oh my god, those guys are legends. Like, if you guys, you may have seen them around. They don't take the game that seriously, so like competitive wise, not really like reaching for the stars. But in terms of actual like people, they're like the peak that you're gonna get. Also, like meeting all of you guys at LAN, obviously was great for me. Like,
You
first
haven't met
time
me at LAN yet.
I did say hi to you actually.
I don't remember it. Wasn't really.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Important.
We
Just
tried.
not leave an impression. Kind of whatever.
I'll give you a hug this time. And I know this one's like kind of been talked about a lot, but I met Yomps at LAN, and he was like the only NA player that even spoke to me at LAN, and he was really nice. So like me and him was a big one. I'm fairly certain it was the same for a lot of people, because he did kind of like mill around and said hi to like basically everyone. So yeah, he was awesome.
For me, I'm not going to go too obvious because there's obviously a phenomenal group of people that we surround ourselves with every day who we met at LAN for the first time. But considering this is more about like maybe someone that you didn't know and then you meet at LAN, I'd say there's two which were a really big standout for me. One of them is Robbie Waterboard Carsten, who single-handedly kept us alive during Copenhagen and then during Insomnia as well. This man was getting us water, can I get you anything, get you bread, any food. Single-handedly probably the best person I'd ever come across at that point, and you know, one of those real like keepers kind of moments. I just wanted to keep him forever. And also like one which is kind of like a bit of a double take, I guess, especially in relation to the story, was actually Geel. Because I met Geo at Rewind, and we'd already had one run in because I was talking to him when we were trying to sort out like some of the bigger Hugs WTF events that we were doing, and I was talking to him off and on. And I think the opinion he had of me was that he thought I was a bit of a prick. So when we met, he basically told me that to my face. So I kind of thought to myself, well, you know, this isn't going to be a especially good relationship then, is it? But no, the more times that I kind of hung out with Jill, the more I realized he's actually like the soundest dude. So that's one of my more surprising ones, I guess, is that, yeah, I really got on with him.
Oh. Yeah.
I'm still holding out for Robbie to turn up. He posted it on Instagram the other day. Can finally travel again. I hope that means something.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
Because he just randomly
Mate.
turned up at 2i65 and he's like, hey, do you want a coffee? I'm like, what the fuck?
Yes,
Yes!
Robbie. Yes, I do.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Oh, absolute legend.
It was
So much respect for the guy.
Did Grumpy ever tell you about like what we did at I-63 for accommodation and getting him around and stuff like that? Did he ever tell you?
I don't know. Is it legal?
Yeah, it's legal. We rented out. Well, I rented out a flat in the middle of Birmingham, and it had like loads of bedrooms. So I just rented it out to like all the Brighton people. So it was Thompson and Thompson, Cryo, who else was it? Grumpy and me, and we were all in that flat together. And it was like 9 a.m, and I'd get out of bed like relatively clockwork because I work, and my body's just used to that body clock now. And I would drive Grumpy to the venue every single day, and before he even got in the venue, I'd be like, "Here's your coffee." I just go in there, have a good time. And I'd sit in the LAN hall for like 2.5 hours before everyone else turned up, and just play Dota at LAN. Not playing TF2.
One game of Dota at LAN. Me and you, Lucky.
Yeah,
I need you to carry my account.
I'm gonna boost your account to legend bracket through LAN.
It's gonna take a while. I am 60 MMR.
I'll get you on the Smurf MMR. You'll be fine. Anyway, I digress. There's one question here.
What game are we here for?
Oh yeah, Team Fortress 2.
One of them. One of the games. Yeah.
There's a question here which I'm going to answer myself, which is, will there be a 6v6 Trolldier match? The answer is yes. What Insomnia do is they give us all real life shovels, throw us out into the car park, and make us fight against each other, and then the last man standing gets a trophy.
Yep.
So next question: which class do you all main? It's on Reddit from Ziggo Kill.
Ooh.
That's like such a bad question for me. I don't know. I've not known for like 6 years now.
You have your Costa voucher, don't you, Eepily?
I have. I think I've done it maybe even twice now. I'm not even sure. I've done all of the classes. What I found out, having started off on Soldier for so many seasons, what I actually established recently is actually Soldier's my worst class by like a good margin now. It's really embarrassing. Oh, you'll love this, Lucky, right? So my team is crazy. I say my team from last season is crazy, right? Because for some reason they were like, right, you're going to play demo in Div 1. I'm like, I'm a midi. And they're like, now it'll be fine, right? So obviously, like, I sucked. And then after sucking, my team's like, oh, yeah, we want to play with you again next season in Div 1. I'm like, I'm still bad, right? I'm still bad. And then, like, it was either yesterday or the day before, I'm like, oh, yeah, I don't think I'm really going to play because I'm just going to be doing other things with my time. And they're like, oh, okay, that's all good. And they started, like, discussing like various different people. I hope they don't mind me saying this. They started like discussing people to like potentially trial, and they're like, oh well, if eepily can't play, do you want to like potentially trial war? And I'm like, why
That's
was
the
I an
comparison?
option? I was like the first choice, and then Epsilon War was like, oh, do you want to maybe like consider? They're probably gonna hate me for like divulging all of their thingies. But sorry, I just thought it was really really funny because of how genuinely mid I am.
That's wild.
So I am, I guess, a demo main.
A demo main, yeah, I'd put you in the bracket of demo main now. I think you're kind of forced into it. Whichever one you play at the highest level, you're forced into being that as your main.
Yeah.
Well, and if so, then I main getting carried by eepily.
That's we've got some good records on that. Ryan has made mid playoffs on both medic and scout because he is just
And I
top
can't
tier.
play either.
He is. I ain't never seen. Okay, actually no one's ever seen a scout cap as well as Ryan has.
I don't
Your
think
boy.
a scout has ever got mid playoffs with as low DPM as I did.
That I would love
Okay.
JMax to get on those stats. Like of genuinely like the most carried scout in mid.
It was like 2,000 DPM or something like that. It was like
2000 is a lot of DPM, right?
sorry,
I'm
like 200
impressed.
DPM. Sorry, I've forgotten how logs work.
200 is still good, honestly.
Oh wait, no, maybe that was the entire game. I can't remember, man. No, 2,000 damage total. Sorry, that was it. Yeah.
There you
No,
go.
it was
There you go.
very,
We get
very,
it there.
very, very
Over
often.
how
It'd be
long?
like 6,000 caps.
It's been a while since you've played, hasn't it?
I just hate the game.
I don't think like I'm a hard stuck midi. Like that's as far as I'm going, and that was on soldier. So I guess I'm a soldier main, but I sort of play whatever in mixes, and I'm bad at all of them. So it's really hard to say which one I'm the best at. But yeah, in terms of maining, it's probably soldier, I guess.
Can I give a hot take a second before Lucky answers his? Right.
Yep.
Genuine strong opinion. Monoclass noobs are boring. I get some
Yeah.
people really like one class, but at the same time, what if you just play more than one class, get experience in different things, get like a more overall thingy? It's just cooler. It's just more interesting.
Can you imagine getting like a quality street and only eating one of the types of chocolate, and you just throw the rest away? That's what you're doing by monoclassing.
Saving that as the next question.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm main medic, but I've
I'm so
played,
sorry.
I know. I played soldier in other seasons, so yeah. But I think I much prefer playing soldier. It's way more fun. I just played medic because it was pain playing with the other ones when I was playing soldier. So that's why I ended up playing medic, because my team was like, it's so easy, you just play it. I was like, fine. And then we came second in Div 2. I'm not taking any credit for that one. But what's your favorite quality streak?
I'm not engaging with
No,
this.
no.
What do you
with this
mean?
entire line of questioning.
Green triangle.
Yes, Arch.
Triangle is
Me and you are best friends.
I think it's the purple, to be honest. I'm a bit of a fruit like that, like a bit purple.
Bit crazy, bit insane like that. Wild one, really, really hot, spicy take. No one likes those,
Yeah.
you know.
I do like it.
Right, Lucky. Do we have other questions? What's
Yeah,
what's
no,
the
we've
question?
run
I
out.
feel like
situation
you've been filling for like 45 minutes.
We've run out of
Like,
Reddit
is there any
ran out
a
of
second
Reddit
question coming
We
up?
ran out of Reddit questions like 30 minutes ago.
Okay, right. So,
So chat, if you have any questions for us, please just ask them. Or if you have a favorite quality streak, please tell me.
oh my god. Okay, because
If your answer
if
is the
not,
strawberry one, don't tell it to Lan. I'll call
If
Maxie
not-
and he'll break your arm.
I'm not even joking. What I'll do is I'll spend 3 very clear minutes doing the show that never got made, where I go onto True TF2 and I answer every single post in like 10 seconds or less.
I was gonna say at some point, like I think the AMA answers questions have been like a little bit safe. Like maybe for the last few questions, people could ask things that maybe they're not supposed to ask, like who's your least favorite caster at LAN?
Oh,
You know,
God.
something maybe a little bit more spicy. I want some like Jeremy Kyle going on here.
Who's your least favorite doggo player?
Oh, that's that. I mean, that. Okay, real answer.
You know.
You can't
Probably
say
myself.
You know.
Because
You can't say yourself. That's such a cop-out answer.
no, because I have one of the lowest win rates if I'm in minus Elliot. So I guess it would technically be myself in the maths equation of if Elliot's not there, then myself. But other than that, who would be my... Oh, okay, no, to play with, I'm sorry, it's definitely Omni. Because Omni Bomulator is a screaming individual on no matter what class he's on. And like, it's not that he's not able, he's an able gamer, but Christ, my ears.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Least favorite doggo?
No, I already said Juno. I think me and him, we get on famously, like a house on fire in just the worst possible way. It's a love-hate relationship in that I just love hating him. Big fan of Juno though, so there you go. Do
For
you guys
some
have sort of
reason-
opinions about bad doggos?
For some
Yeah,
reason,
you
back in the day, there was like some kind of rumor going around that I hated Gubbins, and I don't know why. But I remember Gubbins coming up to me at hugs, being like, "Oh, hey, Hutch, hey, it's good to meet you." Like I kind of got the vibe that he was like, you know, trying to make friends with me, and I was like, "Oh, Gubbins, oh, it's so good to meet you." I can't believe, you know, I hadn't met him before, but like people are like, "Oh, Hutch doesn't like Gubbins."
Wow.
I mean, there's
I
a
love it.
certain, you know, wild animal that may have started that that rumor that yeah.
I kind of miss some of those rumors though. Like, it's been 3 years since LAM, so like we haven't really got to enjoy any of that. But like some of
Yeah.
this drama that goes down, where you're just like, oh, this person hates this person
Oh,
got
yeah.
their arm broken, this person,
Yeah.
you know, is like in a fist fight, this person got sent to hospital for this or that. You know, kind of miss some of that drama.
Oh,
Do you reckon we'll have any of that at this LAN?
I hope not, but it probably.
But like, come on.
Yeah, I hate everybody goes home hating each other.
All right, let's. I've found a goodie. Best medic, NA or EU. I don't know whether that's like a best NA, best EU.
Or is
I
that
don't know.
we can choose? Is
I'm
that
saying
current
active or old players. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Should we do current
it's
and
not...
then old?
Yeah.
Oh god, that seems like hard work. But yeah, go on.
So old Shade.
Yep.
Fanny.
Yeah, he was just funny. I don't even care about his
Yeah.
medic ability. It was just funny.
And then EU personally Miralyn.
Fair.
Raymond's lap though.
Yeah, it was Raymond.
Yeah, I'd give my like players from the past. I'd give that to Raymond in EU and Shade in NA.
Yeah, the thing
Alright,
about
like-
Raymond is that when he fired his crossbow, it felt more like a cannon. he just had like a bigger crossbow. Like he obviously was cheating.
That is
It's not
true.
French. Leave him alone.
That's true. All right, current EU, current NA then.
Current EU, current NA.
May for NA.
Dude, there was that one cup, maybe like a year ago, but it was like I remember watching Zilly just like absolutely diddle Froyo so hard on medic.
Oh, it was
like I
Yeah.
yeah, there was just
community
like
clash because it was ASDF versus Froyo.
yeah. There was like I just remember that there was like one series where Zilly just I don't know, like I don't know whether it was like just the stars aligning or literal perfect mechanics, but I remember just watching Zilly play and being like, that's actually like insane. That's like some of the most insane medic stuff I've ever seen. And it was against Froyo as well, which like made it even more impressive. So just for that one little storyline, sorry, the rest of like NA players which are far more accomplished, that was really cool and really stuck in my head. So unlucky.
In EU, I'd probably choose Mueller as well. Like, he's stuck in my head as one of these medics, which I've enjoyed watching and enjoyed learning things from, and yeah, just seems like a good pick.
I
Fair.
don't know which medics play in EU. That's really
Well-
bad. I don't.
Load up ETF2L.
Okay, hang on.
Right now. It's fine, just keep insisting that Domo is a medic main and only a medic main, and the fact that he's been allowed to play another class is just... It's got to be a one season thing.
No, I can't allow Domo to
Be wasted.
to be on that list.
Damn.
Damn.
What can you do? Dude, that's a good point, though. I mean, not in terms of the best medics who've ever played the game, but Martin's really nice. So he
Yeah.
gets a shout out for being Martin.
Martin gets a shout out.
I would probably. I'm giving it to Seeds over Moolah.
Seeds is also quite good, but
Yeah, he's
I
pretty good.
think, yeah,
Otherwise
from a
I'm
mechanical mechanical point of view, and just generally sort of just does the role of medic. I think best in EU from what I remember. But I haven't watched too much of the last season, so that could have drastically changed. Who knows? Seeds might have become a feeder last season.
I don't even think that's possible.
No,
He
he
doesn't
doesn't
have it
really.
in
He doesn't
him to be
really
like that.
feed. J-Max, can we get the stats on who's got the lowest deaths?
Yeah, right now, give me a name. Don't show you're working. This is not GCSE maths. Just give me a name.
Hey, Art, choose your favorite pro player to have worked with.
Ooh. Um.
And you can't say Kaidus because he's on Insomnia roster at the moment.
Well, Kaidus was pretty cool to work with that line. I think online, probably one of the most helpful players that I've worked with would be Kunu.
He's a good lad.
he'd be the
Yeah,
one
so he's a really nice guy,
That
yeah.
would stand out to me. On LAN, I haven't really had that much chance to sort of work directly with players because they tend to be brought in by talent and that kind of thing. But probably Alba.
Dude, Albert is a very, very good lad. I thoroughly enjoyed. Well, no, I'm not going to say I thoroughly enjoyed doing the desk stuff with him because you'll put me on the desk stuff next year. But I enjoyed spending time with him. And Adiski casting as well. I thought
Oh,
Adiski
yeah.
was
Good
very, very
point,
solid
yeah.
as like a player coming straight into the casting role. So
Yeah, we sort of very naturally got into it. I was quite impressed because we had a lot of at I-65. We did have a lot of fresh faces in terms of talent. It was Bum's first LAN cast. It was Cerny's first LAN cast. It was trying to remember who else we brought on. That's fairly obviously Adiski's. So we had some relatively fresh talent, and some of which are sort of now very established. So that was nice. Todd brought up the Sweetland Alba vlogs. It was like I remember that. That was great. Oh,
can I
yes.
rinse through these remaining Reddit questions, which are just like single answers, which I can do in maybe 30 seconds?
Sure.
Yes.
Good. Sardine Spleen says, how you doing? Great. Rod Lol says, wow, wasn't Insomnia 65 like 3 years ago? Correct. There is, I don't know, other stuff. What's the production setup going to be looking like? Great.
While you're doing this, I'm going to go get a drink, right? You just do the quick fire
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah,
I'll be
we'll
right back,
That's all
okay?
good. That's all good.
You don't need
Any Highlander pugs you recommend? Preferably EU. Not really. Someone says, awesome, smiley face. Right on. Lasagna Smoothie says, thank you. No, thank you. Bit of a
God, that
side
Loris
note,
guy
but what's
sucks.
your favorite loadout for our class?
Airstrike gunboats, market gardener. Next question.
There you go.
Dr. Happiness,
the-
what's your favorite demo man loadout?
Mainly to piss off Eepily again to remind him it was
Don't.
the Lock and Load Quickie Bomb and Scottish Handshake.
Get him out of here. Get
It's
him
disgusting.
out. Get out.
It's gross.
Such
That
dirty,
shouldn't be
like,
allowed.
That
What I
big
loved
wooden
is
door
how
behind you, just
angry it
open
made
it up
me.
and leave. Get-
Just walk away, man. It ain't worth it. The actual
No.
correct answer is nothing weapons based. It's all the turtle cosmetics for the engineer, because that's
Yeah.
just like the art style for this game is just it's
Gone.
something, but it's worth it for the turtle engineer. So there we go. Shout out to all of my boys in chat, not asking questions, but instead posting a meme about me. But it's not the one about how I couldn't pour water out of a shoe if the instructions were written on the sole, because that's quite a hurtful meme. That well, what's the most hurtful meme anyone's ever said to you, Eepily? Oh, I'll tell you. When I was at Rewind 2, my team posted so many mean copy pastas about me in chat that I had a bunch of the American casters come up to me and ask me if I was like okay, and I was like, what's going on? And they were like, no, just some people are being really mean about you in Twitch chat, just like ignore them. And I'm like, no, who? And they're like, there's this guy called Juno, and I'm like, no, he's on my team. It's fine. It's like, no, it's just it's not just him. You know, there's like others, like who? It's like, oh, there's this guy 009 EFF. It's like, no, he's on my team. It's like, no, this other guy Cupcake. It's like, no, they're all on my team. God,
You got
sorry.
cyberbullied so hard that they like brought
Like-
in casters.
Like they
Terrible.
literally were just like, are you okay? Is this like fine? It was I can't remember what it was. I think Smithsonian was like super nice. He was like genuinely concerned for my welfare, and I'm like, no, this is just how I live my life. One of the players I played with last season, Nintendo's, he said I looked 40, and I just wanted to cry.
Nintails, you're in chat, aren't you?
Oh, how could you do that?
I want to form an apology in chat.
His actual wording was, he saw a picture of me. He was like, wow, you sound much younger than you look. And I was like, that's not a compliment. At which point I was like, how old do you think I look? And he was like, I don't know, 40. And I didn't want to exist
I
anymore.
do quite enjoy how many people get us the wrong way round when it comes to age.
Yeah, it's true. That's
It's
true,
fun as
because
well.
for those unaware, Loris is my actual blood-related brother. He is in fact older than me, and yet apparently everyone else disagrees. Like, there's maths to back me up, but
Loris looks like he's been to Spain, whereas he looks like he's been buried in the snows of Yorkshire.
I did go to Spain and Italy.
Oh god.
Am I wrong, Charlie? Or what?
No,
Loris looks like he's about to jump on a surfboard, and Eepy looks like he's been
Oh
hiding
my
in a cupboard for his
God.
whole life.
what's
No, Eepily looks like he was asleep for 3 days and then finally woke up, and then he looks like
Hang on a second.
the dead.
I am go-
Sorry.
This is like the stupidest thing.
Sorry, Eeply, I'm pasty wax and ginger, so, you know.
Yeah, but you have an excuse.
Is man
Alright.
laughing at his own meme at this point?
But isn't the soul inside the shoe?
You just tip on your face.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not my meme. I'm
Right.
sorry.
Either way,
Sorry
the shoe's going upside down.
I've just I've googled the word orange, but it's not working full screen.
You
don't have
Hang on, I might be able to
Oh.
sort
Have you
you
not
out.
bought a ring light? Have you not bought a ring
I've
light?
not
Like, you
bought a
change
ring
the
light,
color
I'm
at
sorry.
will, isn't it? It's like you do all the.
I'm just gonna just put a tip
There you
on
go.
you.
If people
you go.
thought this
Good
was
shit.
going to be like important,
Like actually
relevant
informal
information.
adult.
Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. There's nothing.
Also, buy ring light, you know. You can get change the color at will.
No.
I don't think there's any other relevant questions.
No,
I'll
now
be
he's
honest with
blue.
you.
Is anyone seeing what Perm just put in the chat? Like, because I assume most of us are mods.
Unbelievable.
There you go.
Oh,
Jack,
and
I
it's
will
gone.
go.
Yeah,
I will go upstairs and I will bat him in the face.
There we
That's
go.
true.
I've sorted you out.
Ride
Eeply,
met
don't worry.
Perm. Thank you. Oh my god. This is. I can't go anywhere without being cyberbullied. This is actually like insane. They spend like 2 years exclusively putting me on like the desk and not letting me cast, and then they do this. It's like,
Yeah, but you're getting to cast this time.
yeah, and I don't know, and then everything else under the sun as well. Right, okay. Any last minute questions? Go on. We
Dump 'em in the
don't need to
chat now.
ramble all day, do we?
I think Plunk put how much for a pint, depending on whatever the NEC's charging.
Yeah.
With inflation, at least 10 British pounds.
Oh, this is what I was genuinely like a little bit concerned at, because like all of my pricing ideas for LAN is from the last LAN, and genuinely like 3 years ago at the NEC, like obviously NEC charges an amount anyway, but like that was literally 3 years ago, and I know it's going to be more than I want to pay, and then I know I'm going to pay it.
I purposefully set aside more money than I think I'm ever going to need for these events, because I
So it's
don't know
gonna be
how
all gone.
much drunk me is going to buy.
That's good because I haven't set aside anything, so we should talk.
yeah.
I distinctly
Fine, we did it
remember
first.
at I-65 getting a call from my bank saying like, "Are you sure you're spending correctly?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I withdrawing £200 from like my account," and they were like, "Why?" I was like, I'm buying friends drinks. It's like, are they coercing you or something like that? I was like, no, and I
No,
said all the
it's
right
fine.
answers. No.
I am.
So yeah.
I have an I-65 thing as well, where I ordered a bunch of drinks to my desk at I-65 because you do it on like the little app thing, and then you just like you pay with it, and then you just like you have your email, then like they send a little confirmation to your email. There's a guy who lives in North London who has my exact full name, but spelt one letter different, and we have the exact same email address,
Oh no.
apart from he has the one letter different. So we've got a bunch of emails from like each other back and forth, and at I-65 I ordered like a bunch of drinks, and then the next thing I knew, I got this text from this like alternate reality me being like, hey, I don't think I ordered a bunch of drinks, so I'm guessing it's for you. I've forwarded the email, I hope you have a good night. And I'm just like,
Thanks, man.
weird, bro.
Appreciate it.
Weird. It's fine. I had an email from the NHS a couple months ago about some very sensitive medical appointment he had, and I was like, you shouldn't have sent that to me. It was
Just
good.
a heads up.
It was
Yeah.
it was
Hope
good.
he's good,
As
though.
someone who works in the NHS, that's quite hard to screw up. So he must have at some point written down your email.
Probably. I did genuinely email them with the subject line massive data breach GDPR, and they never got back to me for some reason. It was something.
That's a good email title to have.
Lucky.
Shoot.
How hard is it for me to be mistaken for a doctor by email? Because that has happened.
I don't think it's that hard, genuinely, because a lot of doctors' credentials at hospitals, so when you become a doctor, you have to sign up to like the registry and stuff,
Mhm.
and then you get given alongside that a doctors.org email address
Right.
that you
yeah.
send all of your emails from.
Mhm.
But some doctors just don't do that, and they have like hotmails that they
Yep.
use.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, some want to be, for example, like their name and then doctors for you or something, or yeah, like, and they'll have like their own brand because they go and locum at loads of different hospitals. So they'll like create a doctor brand for themselves, and it's really weird, like the number of emails you just get from like weird doctors who just have like they could not be doctors either. They could just be random people that just show up. And they have like email signatures, but anyone can write an email signature. So like you could just lie and no one would ever know.
Yeah, one time
It's quite easy.
I had an email. I was like back and forth to the hospital quite a lot, and I got an email saying, "Hi, Adam, I've booked you in for an appointment at this time." And I was like, "Yeah, cool. Do I need to confirm it? Because I had to confirm all of my other appointments." Never got anything back. Turned up to the hospital. They're like, "No, you don't have an appointment." And it turns out some doctor called Adam has got an appointment at that time with somebody else. Not me.
It's just some guy.
The number
I
of
had
times
to
like
take
will
time
you
off
in.
of work.
They're just
Like-
wheeling you into the surgery room, like putting all
I mean,
like, the
it wouldn't have been a
gloves
waste of a day then.
So one of the weirdest things that ever happened to me at the hospital was I was wandering around talking to some of my work colleagues going through the corridors and stuff, and then one of the nurses just grabbed me and said, "We need you in the ER," and I was like, "What?" Obviously, not being a trained medical professional, I was very, very confused, but the nurse had confused me for a doctor who did like brain surgery. I was like, "This is not something I can do." And they're,
So
like,
you
trying
were
to-
there, scalpel in hand.
It went
right?
quite a way. I was like, I'm not coming here. Surely this is a misunderstanding. So I thought, you know what, I'll go in. And they tried to scrub me up. Like,
So
like
at that point, I'm sorry.
I was like, no.
we're all
We've got-
gamers.
we've gone too far
Might
as
as
well.
awkward.
Look,
At
you
what
just-
point we just give it a go?
Yeah.
You're standing there, right? You're standing there with this nurse. You're like, well, I am, in a sense, a medic. So
In a
Let's-
way.
Pass me the beam.
drill into this guy's skull. What could go wrong?
Real life crossbow.
Where's the Uber?
Where's the
It'll be
Uber?
fine. It'll be
All right,
fine.
should we answer the last question?
Yes.
I have one final question I've been saving.
Cool.
Yeah.
From our good friend called Arch Rhythm in the chat, where did you all grow up?
Charlie, I think you should go first.
Essex, born and raised.
Cool.
Next question.
What about you, Eeply?
So I grew up in there's a you guys might not know, there's an absolute shithole town in the middle of southwest of England, in a county called Somerset. The town itself is called Yeovil.
No
and
way.
yeah,
What the fuck? That's where
Well,
I'm from.
That's
That's-
wild, because
that's crazy.
that's where I'm from as well.
Very lucky.
What?
Whoa,
Yeah,
What?
it's,
We didn't know that before
This-
now.
wasn't coordinated at all.
No,
Wait,
we didn't
you
know
guys
that.
remember Dennis?
Do you remember Dennis?
Do you remember Dennis?
Oh, Dennis! What a
Do you
toy
remember that
store!
department store, Dennis? Do you remember like there was like the underpass that went under the road?
Yeah, yeah, crazy. There's so many toys in that store, man. Oh my god.
Thanks for coming to the stream, guys.
Shout out to Dennis.
Shout out to
Thanks,
Dennis.
ladies and gentlemen, in the chat for tuning in this evening with us.
yeah,
It's been
and
like an
also-
hour and a bit or whatever.
Yeah, I am just double underlining though. I'm not coming to LAN unless Liquipedia gets updated. I want my name on there, on the 69 page. Add the videographers in. I'm not driving up there. So no LAN intro, no LAN outro. Liquipedia, get on it. My people will
There
call
you
your
go.
people.
We need
Let's
that
go.
stuff. We need them on there. Someone from Liquidia get on that. Anyway, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to eepily, Loris, and Mr. Dr. Happiness himself. We'll see you all that peeps in the chat, and you guys. It's only how many sleeps away? 3, 2.
Yeah.
At the rate on how far I've still got to go on this intro, probably 1.
Anyway, night, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Love you. Bye.